Came here to take over the game. Yeah. Still. I know what's going on. Yeah. It's still politics as usual. Life looking beautiful. Talking real heavy. More heavy than the usual. Shook the whole world up. And type of motion new to you. So it's just a throwback. Losing, we don't know that. Only give them our facts. That's exactly what y'all let. Always show the people love, so they show us love back. Yeah. And Ben Worthy like 42 on the Lakers.
What it is and what it do, you may notice it looks slightly different tonight. The Groveness is not with us tonight. Your boy is flying solo tonight, so I had to call in a favor. I had to call my boy John Allen and ask him if he would be willing to be a special guest tonight. I called in a favor. He's on the road. So let's welcome John Allen to Politics as Usual. Wow. Let's bring the good brother in.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, you got the New Jack City background. Sir. Oh, my God.
And that's a real background, too. That's a real background, too. We doing it on the road.
That's not a backdrop. Where you at, brother?
I'm in Boston, man. I'm up here in Boston. I went over to Harvard today to see my old coach. Well, he ain't really coached me. He left. He left before he got to coach me. So, here we are 25 years later. So I visit him a little bit. And tomorrow I'm going to go over to New Balance. I got some stuff to do with them. And we just making it work, man.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. So when I texted him this morning, when Grove said he had to work today, he's out there in New York doing some work. I said, man, listen, I need a favor. He said, I'm on the road, but I got you. So thank you to your lovely lady for allowing you to hop on, because I know how it is. My dad is probably
30 minutes. That's all I got.
My mom hated when people would ask my dad to do stuff. So I get it. 30 minutes. We're going to keep it 30 minutes.
30 minutes. 30 minutes. Sure.
Yeah, brother. So let's jump into
we live too.
We live, man. No, we don't. We don't cuss on this typically. So you're gonna have to. You can't act like you're on the bench. So. So let's jump into a few topics, brother. So with you being the coach of the Coatesville Red Raiders, high school coach, do you still get a chance to watch a lot of NBA basketball? You still get a chance to follow a lot of the NBA?
I follow the Sixers. I follow the big stuff that's going on, and I follow the Heat. My cousin's coaches the Heat. Kyle Anderson is my guy. So I follow them. I can't wait. They play Saturday. They play the Sixers Saturday. So I follow those two, and then I follow all the big stories that's happening. So I don't know. You might be able to catch me off guard tonight, but I'm just a basketball guy. I'm a sports guy.
Right. And I highly doubt I'm gonna catch you off guard. We're on Politics as Usual. We talk big topics. The thing that we love when we started this show is it's always new topics to talk about every week, because there's always something going on. So the script kind of writes itself, and rightfully so. With our first topic, let's jump in. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. You were probably driving at this time, but LeBron spoke today. LeBron was on the Matt McAfee show, and he was on there for like an hour and a half too. And he addressed everything. He was on there cussing, unlike Politics as Usual. He was on there on ESPN. They had to blurt some stuff out, but he was on there, and he covered everything. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You got to check it out when you get a chance. But he touched on some hot topics. The funny thing about the Pat McAfee show is it airs directly after First Take with Stephen A. Smith. So I think that was probably a little strategic with his, his issues with Stephen A. You've been following that whole saga with LeBron and Stephen A.
Of course, man. Like, my whole thing, though, I don't know. I'm sure y'all covered it before, but like, what are you mad about? What could anybody get LeBron mad about? Like, you accomplished everything in basketball. Your son is on the Lakers. right? Like the Lakers, like he ain't in Denver. Or like,
right. Got him on his team, right?
Like he ain't in Indianapolis. Like he in LA on the Lakers, and like he thriving. He doing everything that you want him to do. Like if I told you my son, I want my son to go to the NBA, but first he got to develop in the G League and get buckets in the G League, and then he can come to the NBA and do his thing. Like that's the perfect story. So like if I'm LeBron, what am I worried about, man? I don't know, man. He being too sensitive, man. You know, when you know this, man, when you hit 40, you get like sensitive about certain things that like never bothered you before. So I think that's what he on right now.
But this is the thing, though. I think the thing, and LeBron addressed this in the interview. He said he can take the criticism. It was kind of when he questioned LeBron's parenting, when he made it personal, is where LeBron kind of, hey, Brandy, I'm starting to think that Tootie's not a LeBron guy. We don't like that on Politics as usual. He's a Jordan guy. I forgot, Brandy. He's a Jordan guy. But he felt like it got personal, though. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that was his take on it, where it got personal.
Yo, man, this is personal. Like, what is he talking about, man? Like, this is personal. It's personal. Yo, and I like LeBron. I like it. I actually like the way that he's never addressed anybody. He's never addressed anybody directly. He just went on about his business over his whole career. Like, and he's achieved greatness by just going about his business. This to me is whack. This is whack. Yo,
I agree that I mean I probably wouldn't have addressed it during halftime too, but let's talk about how Stephen A handled it. He loved this. LeBron said he went on a Taylor Swift tour after he called it a Taylor Swift tour. He said he gonna say he wasn't going to address this, but since the video came out, he said he couldn't wait for this video. He said he can't wait to see this interview. He said he's going on a world tour talking about this, and he has. Stephen A. kind of drives me crazy because I get he's in the media, but you can't say whatever you want. He wouldn't have said that to Michael Jordan too.
Yo, he has to though. Like, yo, that's how he make his money. He just signed $1 million contract, just like LeBron. Yo, he's a reality show in itself. Like, think about what Stephen A. does, right? Think about what Stephen A. does. He gets everybody all round up. He walk on the court. Wax suits from the 90s or whatever he got on. Right?
Hairline back here.
Yeah, hairline back here. He walk around, right? And now he's agitating the athletes, right? That's the first part of the reality series. Then the second part is when the athletes as men come back to him, right? That's the play. This got him $100 million. The athletes come back at him. Now it's the story, right? Can't tell who is who, right? Whatever that Jay-Z line is, right? Don't argue with fools, right? So
can't tell who's who.
Yeah, so this dude, this is how he make his money. That's why I'm saying, like, it's whack. You making Stephen A. money, LeBron, because you addressing it. You know what? For me, I haven't watched the saga since like the 3 days after that, right? Because it just got to be too much. But like, for me, you already addressed it. And after that, your son is killing. He's killing. You feel me? Like he's dominating the G League and coming to the NBA and getting numbers. That's all the talking you need to do. And that's all the talking LeBron has done over his career. Think about it. 2011 with Dallas, right?
Yep.
Terrible final series. What does he come back the next year and do? MVP, right? And wins it, right?
Yep.
All the talking you need goes back to back. That's all the talking you need, right? Loses to Golden State, right? Loses to Golden State, loses Kyrie and Kevin Love. Loses both of them, right?
Yep.
Golden State. Next year goes down 3-1. Everybody is talking crazy about him. What does he do, right? He comes back from 3-1. That's all the talking you need to do, right? Then you go back to the Boston game 6, right? We game 6 in Boston. I think that was 2013, right? Back up against the wall, you lose this, you done, You know what I'm saying? And he give him like 46, a triple-double with like 45, 46 points. So to me, LeBron has always talked through his play. And as a basketball player, you know there's going to be some ups and downs as a basketball player throughout your career. The problem is that everybody has an opinion now, right?
Right.
LeBron has always done his talking through his play. And still at 40 years old, he can still do a lot of talking through his play, right? We could say he's a top 20 player in the league, top 15 player in the league. So
absolutely,
for me to go off and address Stephen A and give Stephen A ammunition, like I think Stephen A is whack. Number one, right. I don't even watch Stephen A, but for me, LeBron stepped out of his character, and he should never do that because he's best at letting his play do the talking.
And those are some great points. And when we talked about it like last week or like the week before, I don't think we really thought about it from this angle. And like the timing couldn't have been more perfect of how Bronny is playing right now. It kind of would have worked in the normal LeBron favor if he wouldn't have addressed it, and Bronny would have had this 30.7 rebound, 6 assist game and killing the G League.
Guess what else happened around that time? Guess what else happened around that time? Stephen A. $100 million contract.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely,
it's all entertainment, and it's for Stephen A. That's what it is, right? He that's what he does. He's a reality show in itself. So for me, LeBron has always done his talking through his play. Yeah, he's had some struggles, but he's always come back and did what he had to do on the court, and really nothing else matters. And now his son is doing the same thing that he's done. I've never heard Bronny talk. I've never heard him speak. I've never heard him address critics. I've only seen him play, and I've seen him perform well over these last few weeks. So that's all we got to go on.
Yeah. How did you feel about the move of LeBron maybe orchestrating his son to the NBA a little bit earlier than he may have been worthy of? Like, how did you feel about that? I said, listen, if I'm LeBron and I got the power to do it, I'm doing it too.
Absolutely. I think that from my perspective, right? At one point in my life, I was close enough to the NBA, right? I was close enough to the NBA where there might have been some politics over me getting into the NBA. Maybe not, right? So there's always been politics within the NBA, especially with guys that are close, right? If you at the end of the bench and you the last guy and you the 13, 14, 12 guy, right? There's going to be politics. Maybe it's the GM's son. Maybe it's this person's son. Maybe it's this person's cousin. Maybe this person went to a college. Like, there's always going to be that. And LeBron's son is no more than a 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th man right now. That's all he is. So it's always been that in the NBA. It was that before I came out of college, before in the 90s, 80s, it's always been a who you know league. So yeah, it's, you know what, man? Everybody's fighting to get to the NBA. And it's going to take some help from somebody to get there. Especially if you on that borderline, it's going to take some help. Now, if he gets there and Bronny got there and he was doing nothing, then he got the role. He got a role. He got his look. But I mean, he's doing his thing. So you can't really hate on it now and to go back to that, like to go back and say, oh, he making power moves. Well, it looked like he making the right decision for his son.
Right. Absolutely.
Man, my son be starting. Absolutely. I don't know why he ain't starting. My son be starting. Austin Reeves would have to go. My son to be starting. He'll have everybody's number. Dog Connect number 4. Nah, my son need all that.
Yo, seriously, right? If I'm LeBron and I got the power to do it, I'm making moves. They're lucky that's all Lebron is doing.
Yo, Luka 77, not Luka, not Luka. Somebody else.
Everybody but Luka.
Everybody but Luka. Yeah. Yo, y'all got to give y'all number over to my son, man.
Straight up. Yeah. It was a good interview though, too. And one of the other things that kind of push some buttons in the interview where he talked about errors, and he kind of addressed the talk that certain players in this era couldn't play in that era, and Bob Cousy couldn't play in this era. And he and one analogy that he used, he said, "You think that Giannis couldn't play in the 70s?" He said he would have 250 points a game, and So what is, we always hear that, certain players couldn't play in the 90s and things of that nature.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that with the different eras and how it tends to be a rift between the eras?
It's so hard, man. It's so hard because like Jordan didn't grow up shooting 3-pointers, right? So where Steph Curry in this era, they've grown up shooting 3-pointers. So somebody is going to surpass somebody who's just mediocre is going to surpass Michael Jordan in scoring. And 20, somebody's going to say this person is better than Jordan because he got more points, right? But Jordan didn't grow up shooting 3-pointers. He was just dominant at what he did. So it's really hard to compare eras. There's also rule changes, right? A lot of stuff Giannis able to do now, he couldn't do in the 70s because of the rules, right? A lot of fouls, a lot of things would be called fouls because it was 2 referees, not 3 referees, right? There was no 3-pointer for guys to play at the high post. Somebody like Jokic would be on the block in the 70s trying to guard Kareem, in his prime with a hook shot. It would be tough for Jokic. It would be tough for those guys to guard. Now we talking about the stars guarding the stars, right? That's what we talking about.
Absolutely.
But everybody, the stars, the greats, the top 5, the top 10 greatest of all time, they all gonna be transcendent. Magic gonna be transcendent in any era. LeBron, Jordan, they gonna be able to play in any era. But like, somebody like Bill Russell, if you go back and look, his strength wasn't scoring. It was winning, defense, and rebounding. He could do that in any era. He could do that at 6'10" and athletic in any era. We take Shaq, and I don't know if you call Shaq a top 10 player or not, but you're gonna tell me he couldn't play in any era. You know what I'm saying?
Any era.
You know what I'm saying? So I think like the best of the best, the top 40, 50 guys ever in the NBA, they can play in any era. You know what I'm saying? Those guys can play in any era. But, once you start getting past that, then you got to start looking at rule changes, 3 referees, the 2 referees, the 3-point line. You got to start looking at different things. But, I don't know if Giannis will average 200, because he got a guard. He got a guard, too. He got a guard in the era where, these fouls now is crazy. The fouls that guys is getting and Jokic is getting and Giannis is getting, where he able to take 2-3 steps after he get fouled and still don't. That wasn't happening in the 70s. So guys was fouling you hard, right? They were fouling you hard. You wasn't able to get off a shot. And we know that Giannis's strength is not foul shots, right? So now you got to make a bunch of foul shots like they made Wilt do, right? They made Wilt do a lot of foul shots. So now, Giannis, you got to make a bunch of foul shots because you think these grown men ain't going to adjust to your athletic ability? Yeah, they're going to adjust. They're going to play off of you. They're going to make you shoot, right? So I don't know about 250 points, but, I think he would be able to play. He's a guy who would be able to play in any era, but he would be a star like he is in this era. It wouldn't be no different. He's not dominating David Thompson. He's not dominating Elgin Baylor. He's not dominating Lou Alcindor. He's not dominating these. He's not dominating Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone. He's not dominating these dudes like everybody thinks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the 70s. That's the 70s. He's not dominating Kevin McHale because these guys were smart. Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Larry Bird. He's not dominating. Yeah, he will play well, just like guys play well, but he's not going to dominate them. Like, it's not going to be that crazy.
And it's funny, you breaking down the game as a person that played it on the highest level is when you make points like that, it puts things in a different perspective because when we have these conversations about the different eras, we're not thinking about 2 refs to 3 refs. We're not thinking about not having a 3-point line and having a high post and all the ways that you're breaking it down. So I think from the average person that didn't play at the highest level, it's, and this is LeBron saying it, who has, so, but he's trying to make a point, but you make great points. And another thing he touched on was, him kind of going on the downslope of that hill. He was, traveling up, and you mentioned being 40, and we are both over 40. And as a person that do you still play basketball at 40?
Nah,
so is it like crazy to see what he's doing at 40?
It is. But to touch on that, like you get sensitive. Like when you get to 40 and you can't do the stuff that you used to do athletically, like somebody starts talking about your game, you want to fight because you can't show with your game no more. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
He's just challenging me to one-on-one, and I'm like, yo, I got 2 points in me. If you can beat me to 2, then you got me. But if you can't, then you in trouble. Because I'm gonna talk about it for the rest of my life. Because I'm only playing you one more time for the rest of your life, right? So, like, yeah, I think that he on the downside of his career, but yeah, I mean, I think the stuff that he doing is I mean, come on, man, I think for him. Yo, if you go run on the track right now, right?
Who was it? I didn't see who the comment was. Who was it?
Just run on the track, run up and down the track, right? And then try to walk the next day. Like this dude is playing in back-to-backs. And B can't even play in back-to-backs. Like and he
hasn't played half of his career, let alone back-to-back.
Yo, my man is doing this at 40. Honestly, for him to just play and put up the numbers that he's doing is really one of the most unbelievable things ever in basketball. Honestly, it is. Nobody has ever done it. I don't know if anyone will because of the advances in technology and sports medicine. I don't know if anybody will, but I've never seen anything like it in my life, what he's doing at his age.
Yeah, it's definitely incredible, man. And then when we look at this era,
he might get this age where he got rid of Rip. You see how sensitive he was? He got rid of Rip for Jerry Stackhouse. That's how sensitive he was. He got rid of a young superstar for Jerry Stackhouse because Rip was better than him at 40. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Rip was and he felt like Rip was invading his territory. So he traded Rip at 41, 42, the same age LeBron is. That's all I got, man.
And did Rip a favor by trading him to Detroit, not knowing, unknowingly.
He got sensitive, man. That's how you get when you're 40, bro.
Man, it is a different NBA now. So, like, especially one of the big topics in the NBA in the last, I guess, like 10 years is tanking, right? So we got all these teams that are currently tanking, right? So we got the Jazz, we got the Raptors, we got the Wizards, the Sixers.
Yo, Chris is already at 22 minutes, bro. I got all
that. So she's keeping the time, so making sure we're on time. We're
going overtime tonight. Overtime. It's overtime.
He said it, not me. He said it. He said it. But what is your thoughts on this tanking though, man? And you got teams resting star players in crunch time. I saw that the Raptors, like they're choosing to kind of beat the system they're playing the players, but then they're resting them at crunch time, still trying to lose. Everybody's tanking for, I guess, Cooper Flag, bro. What is your thoughts on this tanking stuff? And is he the real deal that he's worth all these teams tanking?
Man, I like Cooper Flag. I think he's been great. He's probably player of the year or number 2 in that, right? But I don't blame the players. I don't blame the coaches. I blame the NBA. It's the NBA's fault. Right. First of all, it's too many games. It's too many games. Like nobody is really watching. They put the tournament in. What's that? The tournament. The
in-season tournament.
That's cool.
We call it the Super Cup.
Yeah, whatever. I like it. It's cool. But yo, ain't nobody watching the NBA before Christmas. No, everybody's watching football. You know what I'm saying? And football's trying to take that. Nobody cares. Nobody in general, right? I care about the NBA before Christmas because I've done it my whole life. But like nobody cares about the NBA before Christmas, man. Nobody is watching it. It's too many games, number 1. And then number 2, the system is set up to where if you're bad, then if you're bad, then you get the more lottery ball. Like I don't know how it should be done. Teams should be fine. So whatever it is, I don't know how it should be done. But I mean, listen, try to play 82 games and then see how your body feel right now. Like it's tough. It's tough on guys. It's tough at 24, 25, 26. It's gonna be tough on 30-year-olds. So I don't blame the players. I'm taking advantage. Yo, you tell me I can make $1 million, and I'm just being real. You tell me I can make $1 million and sit out, and all I got to do is show up in my Versace or whatever they wear. Like, yo, at 30, I'll probably do the same thing. I'm keeping 100. I'll probably do the same thing.
Yeah. And it's tough. I mean, you got certain teams, I mean, with some of the people on that list, I mean, I don't think they originally thought they were tanking. We're both 76ers fans. I didn't think that we were in the market to be tanking this year, but history kind of had a different way of going about things. I mean, you couldn't have imagined how bad this season, from McCain getting hurt to Paul George's freak injury to I mean, I guess Embiid we should have expected, but some of the other things that have happened, it's like, when did we get in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes? We thought that we were going for NBA championship.
No, they should have did it for Wemby. If anybody, they should have did it for Wemby. They should have did it for Wemby. But no. What I'm gonna say is, the only good thing about this season is right now you can get tickets for $5. That's the only good thing. That's the only good part about this.
You might be able to get a hot dog and some popcorn for $5 as well. They might throw that in.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's the only good thing now. The Sixers are in full tank mode. I can't even tell you the starting five anymore. It doesn't even does that even matter anymore? Who's starting for the Sixers? Like, no, they in full tank mode. We know it. They shouldn't even try to hide. Yo, if I was the GM, I know I can't say it, but I'd just be like, yo, you see that dude down at Duke? Like, we trying to get him. Like,
right.
Yo, we trying to get him. And you know what's funny? You know what the crazy part is that if they could somehow manage Embiid to where he's playing at the end of the season and in the playoffs, and they can somehow I don't know if they can make Paul George useful. The crazy thing is, everybody talk crazy about Tobias Harris, but yo, when Tobias Harris was here, the Sixers wasn't like
that. He played every game. Yeah, he played.
He'll give you 15.7 rebounds a game. That's what he's gonna give you. But the good thing is that you look at the Sixers and they got a really young core, right? A really young backcourt with McCain and Maxey. That has potential to be, one of the best in the NBA. You look at like Cleveland, that's where they start from, right? They're guards, their two are guards, and then you got a guy in Edwards that can grow into that, right? Really good size, really good defender on the wing, can do some things on offense. Athletically, he gifted. So I think that through that, I'm not even going to mention Grimes because somebody got to score. Like, somebody got to score. Be bad, but I think the Sixers, they set up for the future if they play their hand right. But they're gonna mess it up. They've been finding a way to mess it up since I was born.
Before we were born. We born in the 80s.
Traded Moses Malone.
Grove's gonna watch this, and you gonna make Grove mad because he still talks about when they traded Moses Malone.
Oh, how you trade Moses, man? I ain't gonna get into it. Me and Grove got to get into it with his size 15 shoe at 5.
You couldn't wait to head fake. Shout out to the Grove. Is he gonna be crying when you see this episode if he's not already watching?
Fadeaway jumper over his right shoulder with a head fake. Get out of here, Grove. I used to block that shot so much. I seen a comment on his Facebook where he said he taught me how to play, how we hit young bucks. I used to play. I used to punch it to the swings up in Valley Town shit, man. Then he come up, rock, run. I hit it down. I blocked his shot down to the spring water.
Oh my God, he is gonna be crying. I can hear him now. Bury me. That's what he's gonna say. Bury me. Shout out to the Grove, this man. But yeah, like that Moses, like they will mess it up, man. The Sixers will mess it up. That's what they do. I mean, if they're lucky enough to get Cooper, I tell you one thing: if the Spurs are lucky enough to get Cooper, man, that is scary.
They got a crew. And I think that, I think that you can't go wrong. I think that there's some really good guys at the top of the draft. And if I'm the Sixers, if I'm the Sixers, yo, what Christian Lamar doing? Blowing kisses?
No. See, look, he's no, you can't do my guy like that. Listen,
What did he do?
40, you couldn't see it. It was crying. It was a laughing face.
Oh,
You can't do my
okay.
guys like that. Hey, Seymour, I took up for you, more. I ain't let him do you. He's over 40, boy. He can't see.
No, it's some guys at the top of the draft, man. It's some guys at the top of the draft. And I'll tell you what, college basketball, watching the NCAA tournament, the one thing that NIL has done is it's allowed guys to stay in college longer. So we see these guys playing against older guys, where a few years ago, everybody was playing against freshmen, like freshmen were playing against freshmen, right? So it was like we didn't really understand who was coming to the draft, right? You think Lonzo Ball era, like around that era, we couldn't really understand. But now these dudes are playing. Harper is playing against 25, 26-year-olds in the Big Ten, and he getting beat up every night, and he's still producing. All right, so now that might look a little better to translate into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Where you get a chance to play against 25 and 26-year-olds. So that's what the NIL has done. Harper is playing against, instead of playing against 18, 19, 20-year-olds on a regular basis, like it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Right.
Now with NIL and guys staying a little bit longer, he's playing against 23, 24, 25, right? So that gives you a better sample size of what he looks like playing against NBA guys. So I think that's what NIL has done. So that's why I think it's you get a better idea of what these guys look like in the NBA draft.
I tell you one thing, if all these teams are tanking for Cooper and he decides to stay another year at Duke, they going to be sick.
Nah, ain't no way, man. Too much money. Too much money, man. Too much money.
He's making money in college, but not
like that. Not like that. You don't make that league money. You don't make that New Balance money.
Right.
That New Balance money will cover everything that he's doing in college. All that money in college is New Balance contract to cover.
Agreed. With us, with the season's about to be over, who are your picks for the NBA Finals? Who you got going to the finals and who you got winning it?
Oh, you just gonna put me on the spot, huh?
Put you on the spot, Jack.
All right. I think I like Boston. I really like Boston. I've always liked Boston. I like their ability to shoot. I like their ability to switch when they have Tatum, Brown, Horford. They got like I forget the five. I can't remember the five. Their ability, Porzingis and White, right? I like their ability to switch like 1 through 5. They can switch 1 through 5, or at least they can put Tatum on a big guy, right? Outside
Drew Holiday as well.
Oh, Drew Holiday. Oh, I can't forget him. They can put him on a big guy. So I like them defensively, and I like their ability to shoot. They really move the ball. They space you out. They all can drive. They all can shoot. It's really tough to beat them in a 7-game series, which they proved last year. You might get them once, you might get them twice, but over 7 games, I think the defense, the amount of defense, the pressure they're able to put on you in the half court, the switching 1 through 5. Tatum is a little bigger, and they're shooting. I think it's really tough for any team in the East to go with that, man. And in the West, like I look at OKC, right? They've been the best team all year, right?
Right.
But have they been through it, man? And this NBA stuff is real. Like you got to go through a 7-game, all-out war before you get over that hump. And they been through it? Have they been through 6 or 7 games where it's 2 points at the end? And last year, they lost that to Dallas, right? They lost that to Dallas. Are they ready to get over that hump? I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. In a 7-game series, I would like the Lakers or Denver over them. Just looking at it, a healthy Lakers. Not
Lakers can be hard to beat.
Yeah, a healthy Lakers, a healthy Denver, I like better over OKC. That's just my opinion. I like healthy Lakers, healthy Denver in a 7-game series. Because right now, Oklahoma City, like it's easy to beat Indiana, these teams that are bad, tanking, right?
Yeah.
The Pelicans without Zion. the Spurs without Wemby, right? It's easy to beat them now, but can we beat the Lakers 4 games out of 7? I'm anxious to see that. I'm anxious to see that. I want to see that. So I would have the Lakers and Boston in the finals, and I think that Boston would be too much.
Yeah. I think everybody would like to see that finals. I mean, Boston and LA. Whenever that happens, we want to see that. It's always a good matchup. So yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think Boston is the team to beat for the next couple years. To be honest with
you.
Yeah, Jack. So this is the part of the show too, where this is my favorite part of the show. This is the segment we call "That's a Fact, Jack."
I thought this was where we dyed the gray beard, man. I thought this was where we dyed the gray beard. All right.
Well, the fact of the night is the fact that before we got on, he said it looks like I dyed my beard white. Now, this is all Ty Carter's genetics. Shout out to Ty. He's probably watching. This is all his genetics with the beard.
Yes, sir. It looked good, man. It looked good.
So it's time for That's a Fact, Jack, stat of the week, Jack. So Mikal Bridges, Jack, has been in the league since the 2018. He got drafted in 2018. Came out of Villanova, a local kid for us, coming out of Great Valley. Man, tough. Got drafted by the Sixers, and like always, too, they traded him on draft night. I think his mom worked for the Sixers at the time. And they traded him. It was the most perfect situation. And like always, they find a way to mess it up, too. They traded him on draft night.
Not to mention they let Jalen Brunson go to Dallas. Like he plays in your arena, and they let him go to Dallas. He was National Player of the Year. He was National Player. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. And they could have done it.
How do you mess this up?
Okay, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
You are absolutely right. And the fact that my stat is that since 2018, he has not missed a game. He's the most durable player in the NBA. And he's playing for the New York Knicks currently, who have been known with their coach to play their stars big minutes. And he still hasn't missed a game yet.
Yo, hold up. Who did they trade him for?
They traded him for he was a part of that trade with the other Villanova dude, DiVincenzo. He was a part of all that.
No. Who did the Sixers trade him for?
Oh, the Sixers. He's not in the NBA anymore. I cannot remember this dude's name. He's not even in the NBA anymore.
Well, somebody comment who they traded him for. Yo, that is ridiculous. I can't even talk about all the stuff that's why ticket prices is $2.50, man.
$5 if you want a hot dog and soda.
That is an unbelievable stat. That is unbelievable. They didn't keep. All they had to do was say, "Hey, we're going to keep Bridges. Like, we did the hard part and drafted him. We're just going to keep him with his mom, right? Along with
a local kid. He's local."
And then people are like, Jalen Brunson is not good enough. He's only the National Player of the Year. The Sixers get a chance to watch him every single game. He shares a locker room with them. He shares a locker room with the Sixers in college. And they say, we don't think he's good enough. That's the only team in the league that can mess this up. They're going to make me cuss, man.
Buy one, get one free.
Literally for like 4 years, Villanova. Zaire.
You leave it up to Duber to know. Leave it up to Duber to know.
For like 3 or 4 years, Villanova was the best team in college basketball, right? The Sixers drafted none of them dudes. They drafted Zaire Smith. All of them dudes is on like the second best, third best team in the East. And the Sixers drafted none of them. They felt like none of them was good. Like, what?
Listen, this is my buddy. This is my buddy Jack. He knows all that. He follows the Sixers too. They got Zaire Smith for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah,
Jack
that's
follows the Sixers.
All I remember about Zaire Smith is he had one dunk in the NCAA tournament, and that was it. And then he didn't play anymore. Shout out to him. I hope he's playing somewhere. But what we can agree, a fact is that he's not better than Mikal Bridges. So
and the fact that Mikal Bridges has played more games than him, obviously.
Yeah, y'all gotta let me on here more. If we're gonna criticize the Sixers, because I got some stuff from the 80s and the 90s when they traded. I'm still mad when they traded Barkley. Yeah, they did a lot, man. They didn't have to let Stackhouse. Well, I guess Stackhouse and Iverson was beefing. That was the word. Stackhouse and Iverson was beefing. They could have got. I want to say they could have got Tracy McGrady in that '97 draft, and I think they went with Tim.
Larry Hughes. Was that Larry Hughes?
Maybe it was Larry Hughes. Maybe you might be right. You might be right.
It's one of the two though. It's right around that.
Yeah,
time.
It's either Tim or Larry Hughes, and I think they could have got Tracy McGrady. So we could have been there. We could have had those, but at the time nobody was. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. But hey, Iverson got them to the finals in 2001, so that's all that matters.
That's it.
They're gonna make me cuss, man. They're gonna make me
we're gonna have to have you back on here one day where we just gonna have a segment dedicated. Another fact. Toot had 90 points in 5 games as a freshman. Sorry, Toot. Love you, Tim. Oh, he started with you, Toot.
You should have go back and look at my starting 5 and the reason why I was taking 90 shots. You feel me? I ain't gonna get on Duber. That's my guy, man. That's my guy. We ain't gonna do that. I want him to have a chance to respond to this. So I ain't gonna.
Man.
Yo, listen.
My buddy Jackson Steph played 13 games. That's all he played. 13 games.
Yo, I got a question for you. Who you like in the NCAA tournament? I know this is NBA, but who you like in the NCAA tournament? Give me 4. Final 4.
It's tough. I like Duke. I don't think that they're gonna make it fully there. I like Duke.
In the Final 4? You don't like them in the Final 4?
I don't think they'll win the whole thing. I think they'll get there. Who else do I like? This year, I haven't been following it as much.
You got Auburn, Michigan State at one side. You got Arkansas, Florida down at the bottom of the bracket.
I have Florida. What about
Auburn? What about Auburn?
Auburn's been good all year. They've been like the number 1 or 2 team all year. It's tough, man, because there's no outside of Duke. There's no team that everybody has been talking about all year, and it's kind of. And then when the Coatesville kids got out of it, it really made it tough.
Yeah, I like all SEC teams. I like Duke, but my sleeper from the Sweet 16 that really nobody is talking. Really, I don't know if people are talking about. I really don't watch that much TV about it, but I really like BYU. I like BYU. I think they got a lot of athleticism. They got older guys. They got older guys. They got a lottery pick in the kid number 3, like a 6'9".
I was watching them. I was out watching. They played Sunday. I was watching.
Yeah. 6'9" point guard. So I'm anxious to watch them this weekend. Don't sleep on BYU. Don't sleep. That's all I'm gonna say. I like them. They got 1 or 2 NBA players. They got a lottery pick. I know that. And they got a lot of athleticism. And a lot of smarts on their team. So I'm rocking with them. I like them as a sleeper.
Yeah. So listen, we are 13 minutes over that 30 minutes. I am not going to have your lady mad at me any more than she may already be. I appreciate her though. But in just like that, Jack, that is a wrap for episode 15, Jack. That is a wrap. So I got to shout out all of our socials. You can follow us on at Politics As Usual Talk on Facebook and on Instagram. Shout out to K3Ts. We got a shout out TJ with the K3Ts. Head on over to the shop and get your Politics As Usual merch. We got a shout out Mr. Allen. What's your social? It's Mr. Allen
1101.
1101.
One of them is Mr. Allen 1101. I think that's might be Facebook, and then Mr. Allen 3 or something. I don't know on Instagram.
One of those apps. You type in John Allen. We got a shout out to the Groveness. Safe travels up there in New York, Jack. So this is the segment where we do a shout out. Do you have a shout out, Jack? Do you have anybody you want to shout out?
Oh, me? Yeah, for sure. Those are my people. Like my whole team, my whole team, our coaches, everybody who tuned into this, because this is a lot of fun. Obviously to you, my boy TJ at KT3 or the T-shirt shop, man.
K3Ts.shop. Look at that.
Yeah. Shout out, man. I mean, and you guys, like, you 610 Sports Network, y'all keep us relevant. So I hope it ain't I hope it's never any sports talk on sports talk beef with y'all, because y'all keep us relevant, and I really appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, man. So shout out to you, brother, for taking the time while you're on a little getaway. Shout out to my boy Jack Grimes, who has been tuning in every week. Shout out to Sandy, Christian Lamar Photography, the shooter. Got a shout out to shout out to Duber. Duber has
a kiss emojis. Shout out to stop, man.
Duber hasn't been feeling well, man. So shout out to cousin Duber, man. Hope you feel better, man. Hope you're feeling better. And just like that, Jack, we are out of here with episode 15. Shout out to Toot, and catch us next week when
play my big pun music. Play my big pun music, man. Play my big pun as I'm going out, man. Fade me out, man. Fade me.
Came here to take over the game. Yeah. Still. I know what's going on. Yeah. It's still politics as usual. Life looking beautiful. Talking real heavy. More heavy than the usual. Shook the whole world up.